Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear of favor. A member of the New Patriotic Party communications team, Awal Mohammed, has criticized the government over the launch of the free primary healthcare policy, questioning its funding and implementation. Speaking in an interview, he argued that the government had not made meaningful financial commitment to the completion of the Agenda 111 hospital project, insisting that budgetary allocations have been inadequate. This is not true. Last year, they did not commit a dime to the completion of Agenda 111, he said. He further claimed that only 100 million cedis had been allocated in 2026, describing the amount as insufficient to complete the project. They have not invested in health infrastructure, so they have not really put any money in the Agenda 111 project. Not a single project. You can state this as a matter of fact, he indicated. He also alleged that no Agenda 111 hospital is currently under active construction, arguing that the project have stalled despite earlier government commitment. So this is a communication team member of the New Patriotic Party, Awal Mohammed, accusing the NDC of not contributing enough to Agenda 111. That has to do with they not allocating enough money for the completion of Agenda 111. Let's look at this. So the startup and initial allocation for the Agenda 111, which was between 2020 and 2021, $100 million secured through the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund as a startup. That was during the previous administration. So the city equivalent was 600 million released in 2020 to the health infrastructure account at the Bank of Ghana. At that point, only 36 million Ghana cedis had been used for pre-construction mobilization. Each district hospital was initially costed at $70 million. Total project cost estimate to complete all 111 hospital. So Health Minister Dr. Bernard Okoboy, that was the then former Minister of Health during the Akufo-Addo administration, in September 2024, he said government will spend $7.65 billion to complete all Agenda 111 projects. Now, since 2024 till the left power, after the new administration came in, President John Dramani Mahama stated that 1.7 billion is needed to complete nearly 90 unfinished hospitals. So President Mahama, during his State of the Nation address on February 27, said 22 billion will be required to complete them. So amount actually disbursed so far as of July 17, 2024, during the previous administration, is 312 million paid to contractors. As of February 2025, President Mahama said $400 million had been disbursed. That is to the completion of the 90 uncompleted Agenda 111 hospitals. Now, why the number looks quite different is because 600 million to 100 million, what was the actual money that was put in the project account to start the work. Now, full cost to build the 111 facilities and yet fully allocated budgeted was 22 billion. First, it was $1.7 billion minus 7.65 billion, all amounting. We also have 22 billion as a full cost to build all 111 facilities. So this is going to come in trenches. Then $312 million to 400 million are what contractors have actually been paid to date. So the MPP communication team member Awal Mohammed is saying that the NDC government has not really tried with the completion of the Agenda 111 hospital. Now, in as much as we are all eager to see these hospitals being completed, because at the end of the day, it's not going to cater for patient that belongs to the New Patriotic Party or patient that belongs to the NDC party. One question I want to ask Mr. Awal Mohammed, that is representing the New Patriotic Party, is who is he expecting to complete those hospitals? I know that those hospitals needs to be completed. But with all the monies that has been allocated to the completion of the project, what happened to that money? Why was the project not completed before the indicated time? Why was it not completed? The contractors was being paid. It was stated the first change of the money was being dispersed, the second was being dispersed, the third was being dispersed. So what happened? That the NDC government will have to complete 90 of the Agenda 111 hospital. And I can clearly remember that President Mahama said 400 million was allocated. And now you sit down and then you make cheap politics that the NDC government do not care. They've not contributed a dime to complete those hospitals. Meanwhile, you have been in power for 8 years. You said that was your flagship program. What happened? Was it that the money wasn't enough, or the money was not allocated into the right account, or the money was not being used for its intended purpose? We want to know. Because there is a saying that before you point finger at someone, pointing their flaws, their weaknesses, you should also check yourself to ensure whether you are a saint. If you are a saint, then that be it. But if you feel like you're not a saint, then when you're pointing fingers at people, you should also analyze yourself first to know whether you are in the right frame of mind or at the right. You are in the right stance to criticize someone. Because here lies a case where money has been allocated. And after you left power, there was no completion. And that has to be the burden of this current administration. If we want to talk about the evil this MPP government has caused Ghana, it's a lot. It's a lot. We all need a health facility. And the ones we have, they are not enough. And I will say this and I'll keep hammering on it. That the initiative they brought on board was so excellent. It was good. That every district will have a hospital. That was marvelous. But what happened? What happened? And that is why I always say that if you're coming into power, you know you have limited time. 4 years is not now to 90 years. You just sleep today and then the next day, you've exhausted that 4-year period. And so when you're bringing initiative on board, you bring out initiative that you know you can complete within your time frame. You don't bring out initiative that after you are gone, it becomes a burden. And we all know that Ghana has become a country where any government that comes on board finds, they are so reluctant to complete or continue the project that was being started by the previous administration. So why not just bring out an initiative, a policy that you know that within 3 years you can complete it? And if money is being allocated for this particular project, we know that by 2-year time or 3-year time, we are done with the project. We've promised and we've delivered, as simple as ABC, but we don't. We end up bringing policies that are beyond us. Policies that are so enticing. Policies that sound so good in the ear. And then at the end of the day, it becomes a burden to us again. Building a well-equipped hospital is not something that is on the floor. It's not easy as it's being stated. A lot of money will have to go into it. So even if you say you are bringing up an initiative that has to do with building maybe just 50 hospitals or maybe 20, it makes sense. At least you know that by your 4-year term, you will be able to complete it. And now the NPP is trying to make it look as if the NDC is feeling so reluctant to complete the same project you brought on board and you never completed. And even if you should ask them why they didn't complete it, they will try to buttress it with propaganda. Unreasonable using political tricks to cover whatsoever they've done. And that is bad. That is very, very, very bad. When President Mahama came into power for the first time, he brought out an initiative. And that has to do with building the e-blocks. He started, a lot of districts got their e-blocks, the community day schools. Unfortunately, he was being pushed out of power. And then there were a lot of this project rotting in the bush. I can't remember, there was a time where one of our sister media stations did a documentary where the school was completed. The only thing they need to do is just to is it lunch? The only thing they have to do is just lunch. I don't know whether the word I'm using is correct though, but let me borrow it. The only thing they had to do was just to lunch the school, and then it becomes operational, but they didn't do it. They left the school to rot. The furniture and everything was being eaten by this termite and all that. And when I saw the video, I was like, oh God, this is taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money. And I can vividly remember that Togbe Afedi called on the then president, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, that there is this one e-block in his constituency. And he would like the president to do something about it. I can't say unkoye. So beti me I want to abana mama koye. Go and do it. Or better still, call your president to come and do it. That was a sitting president. A whole city president. He gave a chick answer to the chief. Now go and do it yourself. After all, what? Did you even vote for me? No, you didn't. So why will you call me to come and complete something that I didn't start? So this should tell you that we have a very big problem as a country. And it's not starting from today. It's not starting today. It started way back. Imagine during Nkrumah time, all the projects he started with was being completed by the successive government we had and all. Like, we wouldn't be here. Ghana would have been far, far, far ahead. Far, far, far ahead. But because it wasn't started by my government, I will not be credited for it. And so, also they need the they will start, they won't complete. Another one will come. They also bring in a new policy. They will start, they will not complete. And then the taxpayers' money is being wasted. And we are seeing nothing. Nothing. And the same people, they are destroying the country for you, but you not even see their award being enrolled in any of those schools. You don't even see themselves receiving treatment in any of those hospitals. And that is why I feel like they don't care. This is the time where you need to even collaborate with the current government. Convince them enough, because they need to complete those hospitals. And it's needed. If those hospitals are being completed, trust me, it's going to help us as a country. We wouldn't need to struggle. Citizens will not need to be transported from a village somewhere to another place for treatment. Meanwhile, you have a full hospital, a well-structured, equipped hospital in your district. The politics we are doing of late is too much. Please. Please. You should have completed it when you were in power. 8 years ago, you should have completed it. And since you didn't complete it, please shut up and allow the government to do its work. The president has already stated that they are going to complete parts of the hospital. The best you need to do now, what I want you to do now, is to collaborate with the government and help them complete what you started and you could not complete. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Screen.